session begins at 4:30 and we're on the clock. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Reynolds? Councilmember Johnstone?
Here.
Councilmember Goodson? Councilmember Weber?
Here.
Vice Mayor Smith?
Here.
Mayor Pittman?
Here.
Thank you.
We had no closed session, so there's no announcement needed. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. Councilman Weber, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, sir?
Yes, sir. I salute flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Corrections or changes to the agenda?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, we have one correction. We're going to go ahead and we're going to pull item number 7. It's the first item on the regular agenda. We're going to pull it off here, and we're going to bring it back to the first meeting in March. And we're also, in between this time and March 3rd, we're going to try to get a window of opportunity for the consultants to have available to potentially meet with each council member just to get a little more information. There's a lot of assumptions in that report, and I want to make sure you all have the information that you need before we talk about
Okay.
it. So there's other reasons for pulling it, but this will give us a little more time.
Thank
We'll
you.
pull number 7.
So pulled. No recusals. I'll entertain an adoption agenda. Motion for that.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Motion passes with 6 yeses, 1 absent.
Thank you. We have no presentations or proclamations tonight to speak of? All right. Public communication, any cards for the 3-minute public?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I do have one submitted card for public comment from Rhonda Magnuson.
Welcome, Rhonda.
Hello, everyone. Well, today, I stand proven right on everything that I have said about this mission. You all know that I'm in there. I'm grateful, very, very grateful to be off that street. But an employee was fired. His job terminated for the terrorizing of homeless people. And if it hadn't been recorded, I would have been on the chopping block, okay? This has taken place for years and years and years. And I do not believe for 1 second that Miss Annie Terry has come to anybody and said, hey, wait, I've caused half of this problem by doing oxymoron things, okay? This is about money. This is about people making an income. I've got the bag. There is millions and millions of dollars coming into this. There's no bathrooms up there. There's no showers. There's no hot food, even though it is supposed to be hot food. You have got people, 9 of them all in total since I've been there. I'm not going to give the names. Liar, shut up. Go somewhere else and get a shower. We're going to call the cops on you. They did, didn't they, Chief? Yes, you got a 911 call that day from the employee standing there accusing me of threatening him. No. All recorded. Your cops came, told me that Annie says I am to leave the property and go to a meeting. This meeting is supposed to be at 10:30. She don't show up till 11:15. No respect. Now she's got these people that are coming down on me in this meeting. I have spent 10 years fighting this, speaking out about this. This is a lie, and there's a few people that need to take accountability for that. Alan Dykes, Terry, Lori Keene, Sandy Hayes, Bob Kazone, and Jim Hollingsworth. And you, sir, need to resign that seat because you have been witness to this for years. Instead of you coming out here and honoring that seat and saying, wait a minute, help these people, you have done the complete opposite. Hand it over, step down, go back to cleaning your carpets. And this goes for Alan and the rest of these people that have sat here all these years and taken this damn freaking money and left nothing. We signed for this. We get nothing.
Thank you, Rhonda. Your time's up.
Have a good day.
That's all I have for a submitted speaker card, sir.
Thank you. Next item is reports and discussions, council announcements and reports. Any council announcements? Mayor.
Yeah, just briefly, I'm part of the Vector Control Board, and one of the things I wanted to pass on to the public, right now, because of inversion layers and weather, they're not able to spray for the pesky mosquitoes. And so you just need to do what you can to protect yourself until the weather changes. Thank you.
Anyone else? I'll take a quick moment. We had the ribbon cutting for the new Applebee's IHOP combination. That store's open, and that was last Thursday. Interestingly, they redid the whole store. The waitresses are really happy to get rid of the carpet in the room. It's all solid. So, interestingly, they have 74 positions for that business now. A lot of employees. So happy to see that happen. Administration reports. Mr. Ring, you want to talk?
Sure, I'll go first. Can you hear me? All the mics are working, I think, except these two. Is it on?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, great. Just a couple quick updates on some funding that the city is going to be trying to attain. The earmark season is upon us right now, and again, it's it should be in the next couple of weeks. That's the process at the federal level where our House representatives and senators try to advocate for certain funding for jurisdictions for certain projects. Both the House and Senate are expected to produce their community project funds guidelines here in the next week or so. And House members are able to submit up to 15 projects. Senators, it's more based upon the amount of volume and the magnitude of the cost of the projects. They don't have a specific number. Generally speaking, these projects are anywhere between the $1 and $3 million range that communities put in for. But we do plan to advocate. This is the one where we did the South Orville project last year for the curb, gutter, sidewalk drainage, and pavement in Spencer and Burlington, and it made one of the senators' list. It didn't make it to the final end, but we're going to advocate for that again. Also, there's a potential to advocate for staffing, and I know I'm going to be talking to Chief Wines about that because there might be something like a Band-Aid for funding for staffing, and maybe another potential drainage request as well. So those are a couple projects that we're going to try to advocate for funding against the earmark process. And then there's another funding opportunity that came up through BCAG, our Butte County Association of Governments. It's CMAQ funding, which is a congestion mitigation air quality funding. And these are dollars that we are able to actually use these funds. And that's the funds that we're using right now on Table Mountain in Washington. We received, I think, $3 million, was it? I think $3 million or 2.5? Somewhere in there, that we're using for all the preliminary engineering and right-of-way for Table Mountain, Washington. Significant helps, benefits for us in our project we're trying to get accomplished. There's two projects that we've been coordinating with BCAG on that we are going to advocate for. One of them is curb gutters and sidewalks up on Lincoln Boulevard. You know, where it's ultimately, if you go on Lincoln Boulevard from 162 south to the city-county line, there's a lot of sidewalk gaps. And this would be a tremendous benefit, I think. Also, obviously, Lincoln Boulevard, and it goes parallel to the South Orville community, but it's an opportunity. It's been needed for a year, so we're going to advocate for some funding for CMAQ dollars to help with the engineering work for that project, and then that might be a project we then try to get funding for at the ATP level, which is Active Transportation Program, and that's the one that we're also going to be trying to get funding for Table Mountain, Washington. One other one I just wanted to put on your radar. The roundabout up in Acacia, Orange, and Oro Dam East. I know I've talked to, I think, just about all of you about this intersection, and it's a mess. And we're looking at trying to get CMAQ dollars for that to do preliminary engineering as well. Potentially to recommend a big roundabout in that section that would really help with the traffic flow and congestion. So those are again a lot of balls in the hopper. They're trying to get some funding for a lot of these big projects for the city. That's all I have.
Amy? About this side of the room. I thought being so dressed up, you might have something to tell us.
We thought we said it all with our festive Valentine's attire.
I feel down-dressed.
I mean, you know, we
How about
weren't
the police
invited
chief?
to the party.
Next time.
I've got a few things for us here. So starting off for our current hiring and recruitment, we're actively recruiting for our next police cadet. That's going to be both an internal and external. So anybody that wants to be looking to be considered for the police academy and later this year. Make sure you get that application in. We're going to have a written and physical testing is scheduled for March 14th. So that's coming down the pipe. We are now in basically our third week of Community Connect, which is that automated service that when people call in, it gives you an update about where you're at in the lineup and what the status is of officers getting there. Since launch, we've sent out 1,580 automated responses. We currently see a 22% survey completion. We're anticipating more once people get familiar with it. At this point, we have a 4.5 out of 5 satisfaction rating. So they're both pleased with the system itself and obviously with our officers themselves and the professionalism of the officers. So very pleased to see those numbers come out. Hewitt Park, we've currently deployed our Flock mobile trailer there for some safety and security. Once the project is complete, we're looking on having another 2 Flock cameras permanently installed there, and then we're still working again with Mr. Ring to see what else we can do to better serve the community and protect those wonderful assets that you've built for us. So we thank you for that. Annual department rewards, it's always nice at the end of the year to reflect. Dispatcher of the Year was Haley Tigrit. It's her 2nd consecutive year. The Municipal Law Enforcement Off the Year is Isabel Quintero, also her 2nd consecutive win. She's will be going to the academy this July, so it's a good opportunity. She started off as an MLE when she was 19, and now she's hit 21, so she can go off to the academy. Very, very pleased with her. Officer of the Year was Officer Nu Zhang, another outstanding officer that we've had, just a great personality and very humble person. Community Impact Award, this is something that is, these are the guys that goes below the radar. They're just back in the community, and that's Sergeant Ruben Kiwis, school resource officer. He just does a tremendous job out at the school, and oftentimes not out in public, but really takes care of the kids out there. The Unsung Hero Awards was our records technician, Alex Stevenson. With all the state mandated reporting we have, it becomes such a nightmare. And she does such a great job of following up with the officers, making sure all the records are correct before we could submit to the state. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we have a life-saving award. Tyler Main, he has resuscitated numerous people using Narcan. I'm glad we have the opportunity. Unfortunately, we have to use it. And then we have an exceptional life-saving efforts, Officer Cody Cadornas, who received a call where a juvenile was not breathing. Ambulance wasn't able to get there in time, so they loaded him up in patrol car. He did CPR all the way to the hospital. Was able to keep the baby alive, but unfortunately did not survive the injuries. It just goes to show the dedication, professionalism in the office. Year-to-date stats, just this is starting now, the new year. We've already received 5,767 calls for service, not including today. It averaged about 114 calls a day, documented about 600 cases, and just continuing to be very, very busy.
Thank you, sir. Nice to hear about the officers' awards. Mr. Belzer? No? Tim? We have a nice report here. You might want to tell us about it.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Bringing back the monthly PW report, a lot of updates since you last received one. This report will get nothing but better as we go forward. We're ramping up into construction season. The weather outside is kind of putting a damper on it, but Montgomery Roundabout Improvement Project, you should see that kicking off in full gear sometime in March, weather dependent. A lot of the asphalt plants are down right now, so that's why you're not paving. You may see asphalt, Franklin has their own asphalt plant. That's why you see some asphalt going down, but they're doing small batches for themselves. We've got the Safe Streets for All grant was awarded sometime in December. Had the kickoff meeting for that a few weeks ago. That could take up to a year to actually get those funds and start doing things with those. The program coordinator needs to reach out to me. That's the next wicket that we have to hit, is the staffer in DC has to reach out to the awardees and get that ball rolling. Doing a lot of great things on Table Mountain in Washington. We're past the 30%, going towards the 60%, coordinating with the railroad to make sure they're happy with us crossing over their railroad. We're not touching it, but we're going to go above their space. We did the light pole over here. It's done. Hewitt Park. While it may look finished, it is not. There's a lot of things still to go. The construction is almost done, but the buttoning up is still to happen. We have some fencing to repair, replace, install, and working on the security, the opening, the maintenance, all the things that we need to do to get a successful opening in early April.
Good to hear. Thank you, sir.
I have a follow-up.
Sure, go ahead.
In your notes here, your reference to the 311 system. So if you can, it would be nice for us to get a report on how many,
Yes.
and then how many you were able to correct. And then there's, I'm sure, a slew of stuff that just can't be dealt with for a variety of reasons. But it would be nice to have some kind of, input to us to report on how well that app is doing, and how it's being used would be great.
Will do.
Thanks.
Councilman Reynolds has a question.
My question's for you, Tim. Is there any way, with all of this work being done on Table Mountain in Washington, is there any way to fit the fence in for the sidewalk going up that Fish Hatchery Hill? We've actually been working on that for years, and I don't know how it got to the wayside, but in walking up there for the grand opening of the displays, it was pretty dangerous. Not that a fence is going to stop cars, but it certainly makes them aware that there are people there.
That is a separate project that I have going, so it's not going to be part of the Table Mountain, Washington. Table Mountain, Washington won't turn dirt until 28, 29 at the earliest. So that fence will actually get done. I've got it planned for this year.
Okay, and are you looking at the old designs, or are we looking at a new design?
We had a presentation in this room maybe a year ago. It's been a bit.
Probably over a year.
But that's what I'm going to go. That's what I'm planning to go
Okay,
with.
great. Yeah, those cars are coming down that hill 60 miles an hour. Very, very dangerous there, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Good topic. Anyone else, questions? Good. I want to add too that, we've been dealing with the fluoride issue for our Cal Water customers here, and it's over a year and a half. We did get on the March agenda of the PUC, Orville's issue will be on agenda. We hope it gets all done, but it's taken a year and a half to get through the PUC.
I even heard on Friday that it might.
Really?
Yeah, believe it or not,
Hey,
much faster than I thought.
if you're telling me the PUC can get something done, man, I'll believe it. Oh, boy. Anyway, I just want to make sure that it's on their agenda and it's coming up. Anybody else? We're ready to go. Then we'll move to consent agenda. I'd entertain a motion to consent unless anyone wishes to pull.
Mr. Mayor,
Oh, yeah.
please forgive me. Thank you for the reminder, Brian. Hey, out of abundance of caution, I got this written down because I got to say this right. Out of an abundance of caution, I need to recuse from item number 4. And the reason why is I have a family member that is in a high-level management position with the nonprofit that will be helping the Safegrad Night Committee. So I think it'd just be wise if I just recuse for that, okay?
Okay, so item 4 is pulled. Any other issues from council members? If not, I'll entertain a motion for consent agenda.
So moved with item 4 being pulled.
I'll second.
Call roll. Thanks, sir. I'm going to ask Councilman Tracy Johnstone to read the resolution. Do we have someone here to accept it tonight? Yes. Wasn't it in the agenda for consent?
It was pulled.
Oh, okay, sorry. We got to bring it back, yeah. Okay, with item number 4, thank you. I was ahead of myself here. I'd entertain a motion for item number 4.
So moved.
Call roll.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Sure.
Who brought this item to the agenda?
Myself and Councilman Johnstone had requested it, yep.
All right, thank you, sir.
You bet. Okay.
With that, motion passes 5 yes.
Okay, now we'll get back to it. Is there someone here to accept this? Come on up.
City of Orville Resolution Number 9441. This is a resolution of the City Council of the City of Orville expressing support for Orville High School Safe Grad Night. Whereas Orville High School graduating students who have demonstrated academic achievement and commitment to their community, and whereas graduation night is a celebratory occasion that presents increased risks related to impaired driving, substance abuse, and unsupervised activities, and whereas the Orville High School Safe Grad Night program provides a long-standing, community-supported, alcohol-free, drug-free, and supervised celebration for graduating seniors, and whereas Safe Grad Night programs have been shown to reduce alcohol and drug-related injuries and fatalities among graduating seniors, and whereas the program is organized through the collaborative efforts of parents, school, staff, volunteers, and community partners to promote student safety, and whereas the City of Orville values proactive programs that enhance public safety and support youth well-being. Now therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Orville that the City Council and Mayor express their support for the Orville High School Safe Grad Night program and commend those who make the event possible. And the city encourages community participation, including sponsorships, donations, and volunteer service to support the continued success of this program. And the mayor is authorized to issue letters of support on behalf of the City of Orville in furtherance of the Orville High School Safe Grad Night program, passed and adopted by the City Council of the City of Orville at a regular meeting held on the 17th day of February 2026.
Thank you guys.
Thank
you guys
you.
so much.
Thank you.
I forgot, do we have any cards on this item?
We do have submitted speaker cards on this item, sir.
Let's have them come.
And then, Mr. Mayor, could we also have the name of the person that received the resolution, or the?
Come up to the mic.
Kyle McDonald. Kyle McDonald.
Great. And then, so how are you related to the high school?
My daughter, right there, she's a senior. I have a freshman, 8th grader, and a 6th grader, so I have a whole bunch of kids that will be going through
Awesome.
high school.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you.
Excellent.
With that being said, we'll
Yeah.
begin our public comment with Stephanie Elrish, followed by Kyle McDonald.
Hello. So I am up here as a grandmother. I have my first two grandkids graduating high school this year, one from each high school, one from LP, and they're doing okay. OHS needs help. I am going to challenge every alumni from OHS to give. If you can only give $10, $5, whatever, give your service. If you have a business, please help us out in the way of donating. Anything that you can do, we're accepting. We're accepting people to supervise. We accept it all, and we appreciate everything that you guys are doing by bringing awareness, and we're just trying to hit all, everybody to make everybody aware that there is no Safe Grad Night for Orville High School. We're starting from scratch. So I want to see my grandson have one. Sorry. Thanks.
Thank you. Up next, we have Kyle McDonald, followed by John Zilich.
Hi, my name's Kyle McDonald. Like I told you, my daughter attends Orville High School. I have this note here. I realized two things. My penmanship isn't very good, and I need glasses now, so
All right.
for that. Good evening, Mayor, members of the City Council. On behalf of the students, because we have seniors back there, families of Orville High School, I want to sincerely thank you guys for backing Safe Grad Night. Your support sends a powerful message to our seniors that our community sees them, values them, and believes they're worthy of investing their time. Graduation is one of the most important milestones in a young person's life. It takes years of hard work, perseverance, growth, but it's also a night when emotions run and risk can increase. Safe Grad Night provides our students with a secure, supervised, and positive way to celebrate their achievement. Together, it gives parents peace of mind, allows our seniors to create lasting memories and environment designed to protect them. This year, with the PTSA unable to help, the need for our community partnership has been even greater. This is why your willingness to step up matters so much with the local leadership step forward for our youth, it shows that supporting young people is not just a school responsibility, it's a community responsibility. Our students are not just graduating, they're future community leaders, first responders, teachers. They're going to shape the future of Orrville. Everyone is investing in their safety and success of the next generation. I just want to thank you guys for recognizing that our youth is one of Orrville's greatest assets. Your leadership demonstrates how we can come together as a community with a common goal to ensure our youth see that they are worth fighting for. So thank everyone. Thanks.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, guys.
And then our last speaker card is John Zillich.
Welcome, John.
How we doing? So I just wanted to echo the thanks from the community for the support from the council. I mean, you guys get a lot of grief a lot of times about a lot of things, and I get that. But I want to make sure you understand that I went to the last Safe Grad Night meeting. It was last Sunday, and it was the third meeting they had. And if y'all had seen the number of people in that room and the number of participating seniors and the hearts that everybody was there with, they all want this to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to be a success. There's no doubt in my mind. But I just wanted to let you know that I definitely appreciate, and I've talked to so many people that once they saw this measure on here that you were going to be providing the letter and stuff, so many people came with glowing support for all of you, just because you're supporting the community and you're supporting the people. And, you know, I hear there's about 150 or so graduates. I don't think that even includes the homeschool graduates and all that. My two seniors are graduating this year from the Orrville High School District, and they're graduating as homeschool. So I just want to make sure you guys understand the level that something like this, something that's a simple letter, what it can mean to the community and what it does mean to the seniors of this year. Both my kids were just like, wow, you know, we're being recognized. Like, we have a voice. We have a problem and it's being handled. So I just want to make sure you all understand how appreciated it was, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Honestly, I had nothing to do with the parent-teacher conferences or anything like that because my kids are homeschooled. So we don't really, my family doesn't really do anything with that. I only heard that there was a problem through word of mouth. And then I heard about the meeting through word of mouth, and I went to the meeting. I can't speak to anything that happened before last Sunday.
You don't know who made that decision? That
No.
there wouldn't be a safe grad night?
No, sir.
This is the first time my graduated from Orrville High. Children, my family.
Yes, sir.
Everyone graduated from Orrville High, and this is the first time I've heard that there wouldn't be a safe grad night.
Yeah, the first time I heard about it, I saw it on Facebook. I saw the little Facebook Save the Safe Grad Night, a little post on Facebook that was random. I don't know if on which it was Orrville Rants and Raves or wherever it was. And I clicked on it and I started going down the rabbit hole like we all do. And I immediately found out when the next meeting was and how I could be there. But there was a huge group of people that showed up with a whole lot of support.
Thank you for stepping up, sir.
Of course,
Before you
definitely.
sit down, we have Councilman Johnstone has a question.
Actually, I was just going to respond to Councilman Reynolds. So initially, it was the PTSA that put something out that they were canceling Safe Grad Night because there was not enough parent volunteers or student volunteers. So they were just going to cancel Safe Grad Night. They said that they had sent out plenty of notice, plenty of social media. There was a lack of participation, and they were frustrated, so they were going to cancel Safe Grad Night. And so that's when the social media posts on Facebook started. That's how I heard about it. Their parents are like, well, we want to do something. We never even heard about it. So that's where this whole movement began. And I guess there's some.
Stephanie, come on.
The PTSA also kept the money the kids raised. They decided to give it elsewhere.
Thank
There's
you.
$9,000 and they won't give it to the kids.
So that was for scholarships.
Originally, it was for for Safe Grad Night, but they're deciding to put it towards scholarships.
They raised things for, like they had a bun cake sale for Safe Grad, fireworks.
Yeah.
And then we had, there were several things that were designated Safe Grad. And even the students tried to speak at the PTSA and the lady shut them down and wouldn't let him ask questions. And he said, what about the money I raised personally after my sports and everything? And they said, we're designating where it will go from here. It'll go to other kids for scholarships or whatever.
Thank you,
So
Stephanie.
that's how that.
Thank you, Stephanie. Vice Mayor Smith is in the queue.
Yeah. A little bit of a challenge in that some of this lane kind of belongs to the school board, in my opinion, being a former school board trustee and PTO president, responsible with handling these kinds of issues. Certainly, a lot of this responsibility falls on those parties. As to our part, since we've passed, this piece here and what we've done tonight, and so we've kind of put our finger in and I applaud council persons who have engaged in this, appreciate that effort. But I would also, as a city, we need to then, for the direction for the community as to where dollars need to be sent, because we've called for folks to support this financially, and so therein we need to, when we find out who's taking the lead, I think that the city, we need to post, whether it's on our social media website or where those funds, and there may be already some behind the scenes efforts, but right now, if I want, like, for example, I want to donate, but who's that appropriate party? And it looks like this is kind of a grassroots response to an issue of responsibility maybe not being fully handled in a way that we feel should have been. So I just feel that we need to, once that's identified, that we need, as a city, then here's where the dollars go and what's happening. So for further clarification, I think that's important. Thank you.
Are you making reference to city?
So what I'm referencing is a city that once it's identified who's taking on, because we've done this piece, that we identify where folks should donate towards the cause. It's official, so that there's a recognition of whoever's taking on that right, I don't know who's taking on that responsibility. I hear a lot of frustration, but I think as a city to take that next step that's appropriate, that's been identified, and it may already be identified, I don't know. But I think that would be important that we do that.
We have Councilman Reynolds in the queue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My first question would be where is the $9,000? And Mr. Mayor, since Councilman Weber's wife is on the school board, maybe he would like to share his insight of where that money might be and what their plans are for it.
I'm not aware, but
It's not the school board.
Yeah, it's the
PTSA.
PTSA.
Parent Teacher Association.
I could
clarify that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, when I recused earlier, it wasn't because of Maria's position on the board.
Mm-hmm.
It was not because of that. It was because there is a nonprofit that is going to help the Save Orville Safe Grad Night.
Okay.
There's a nonprofit that's been established for similar things like this. Okay, and she's on that board.
Okay,
So
thank you. But do we have any insight where this $9,000 is?
I personally, I don't.
To get, they're
I have.
Okay.
I'm with you.
All
Like
right.
I
Well,
don't
thank
know.
you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you for
yeah.
that.
But I think I'm going to go ahead and continue to recuse because I think maybe I came back in prematurely, and I shouldn't be commenting on this at all. Okay.
The vote already occurred, so there's no pending action. But it would
Actually,
be
shouldn't
better,
be
if there's going to be any continuing discussion, I
participating
think
in
it'd be
any-
wise to just, we're past the item really, but if it came up for reconsideration, I wouldn't want you to be swept up in that.
So for any reconsideration in the future, if this item comes up for anything at all, I will automatically recuse.
You would recuse for the same reasons that you've already recused. Yeah, but
exactly.
I didn't anticipate this was going to be a continuing discussion
Right.
after the vote, so, yeah.
Okay. So, and please forgive me, would you like me to step out of the room until it's done?
Are we all finished, Mayor, or?
We have Councilman Johnston's in
I
the
think
queue.
you ought to.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will. Thank you.
We'll call you back.
Okay.
invite Kyle or Misty up. You have the PO box and everything available should any members of the community want to help support this. Could you guys give out the?
If you'll share it with us, it'll go on our council agenda minutes.
Yes.
We're working with a nonprofit, Orville Youth in Action. Mr. Weber's been helping with that. Tracy's been helping with that. And Mr. Gabriel's been helping. So it's Orville Youth in Action. It's 1900 Oradam Boulevard East. Suite.
I'm not on the nonprofit. I did not.
Suite 12 dash
Go ahead.
217 Orville, California, 95966. The tax ID number is 39-464-1184. And the PTSA.
Say it again, Kyle, I'm sorry.
Yeah, the ID number?
Everything.
Okay, it's Orville Youth in Action, 1900 Wardam Boulevard East, Suite 12-217, Orville, California, 95966. The tax ID is number 39-464-1184. And the money with the PTSA, the $9,000, that funding was a restricted fundraiser for Safe Grad Night. So the PTSA is trying to say they're going to give out scholarships, but a lot of these kids fundraise after school, the fireworks booths, car washes, etc., for Safe Grad Night. So they're really pushing hard on this. They're not going to give the money or help us with that. And around January 12th, my daughter came home. She was really upset. She said Safe Grad Night was canceled. PTSA stated that they had put information out on the PTSA Facebook page, Instagram page, and Parent Square, which all these, none of us have. There's plenty of opportunities for them to pass out these flyers during the sporting events, the sports banquets. One of the PTS members there is the one that gives out the awards. So none of this was brought to our attention and no phone calls were made. So as soon as that happened, my wife emailed and she said that they were past this issue and it was too late. This was in January. So ever since that moment, here we are. So.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate your efforts, and
Thank you.
a lot of us are yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of Orville High graduates in here. In fact, I have to make mention my grandmother graduated from Orville High School in 1916.
Wow.
That means Orville High's been around a long time. We appreciate all your efforts, and we look forward to it. We're individually, supporting this as a council, but individually, I'm sure you're going to see each council member help in some way or form. So, and the members of the community. So, thank you all for bringing this to our attention, and it needs to happen for sure. Okay. Excuse me.
I just got a message.
Okay.
But let's
We'll
just
move on now. We're up to regular business. Oh, yeah, please get him back. Thank you all.
Am I allowed back this time?
Yes, sir, come on in. We're at item number 7, fiscal impact analysis for residential projects. That was
pulled.
pulled, okay. Just to let know, we're pulling that agenda. Number 8, Elected Officials Transparency and Accountability Act. Mr. Ring, please.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Is this on? Yes, Mr. Mayor. This item was initially presented back, I believe, in December, and staff were directed to make a number of edits to the draft document, and those edits have been made. We can go ahead and put this on the screen for anyone to see, but there's a number of edits that you can see them in red, and brought back for further consideration. There was discussions at the time of codifying this, but before we go down that path, wanted to make sure the language was acceptable to the will of the council. I'll turn it over to, I know Councilmember Weber initially presented this, I believe with Councilmember Johnstone. Yes. Initially put this on the agenda back in December, so I'll turn it over to them for additional input.
I have Councilman Weber in the queue.
Yep, thank you. After hearing the concerns of the council with some of the language that was in it, we took that into consideration, went back, and then you could see on this document now there's a bunch of strikeout language on it, and some of the language that kind of addresses the concerns that the council was addressing. And so my only statement I want to make on this is that this has nothing to do with the marketing conversations. This has nothing to do with a conversation that a council person or the mayor or vice mayor can have with potential investors or developers or whatever would like to come and do business with us. That's marketing. That's totally separate from negotiations. Okay, marketing conversations are separate from a negotiations conversation. So that's all that would have to do. And so this is just a set of guardrails that were in place because we identified through a series of events that we didn't have any specific guardrails in place. And if we codify this and put it in our code, then this would actually give us some guardrails. And then, of course, it's been pointed out that it's up to us to honor those guardrails. And so, and I think that we can. I think that this body can do it, and future elected officials can do the same thing. This is just about accountability and transparency for not only this council, but future councils and for the great people of Orville. So, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Vice Mayor Smith is in the queue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, fundamentally, I am really pleased with, I think, the work that staff has done in massaging this document. I had given to our city administrator, Brian, a couple of items that I felt needed to be addressed, and there's only a couple of them that I wanted to publicly point out. The provision under direction to staff, I think it needs a definition to what that exactly means for, and just because when we get into the hyper politicalization of things, I think it's just important to have a little bit more clarity. What do I mean by that? For an example, I go to our HR director and I ask for a report on something. Now, traditionally, when we do that, then city staff is obligated to provide that information, not just to myself, but to the balance of council for the sake of transparency. But one could construe that that's direction. But just in the normal course of, the day, you're looking for information, you're doing research on something, and you reach out to a staff member and make a request. So I just feel that we need a little bit more meat on that for definition so that, in a hyper politicalization moment that we're not just, willy-nilly throwing things or accusations around. I think it just needs a little bit more. So actually I'm asking for more words, not less. And then the other piece is I'm a little concerned if this goes to be an ordinance, which I think that's the direction that we're heading toward, that there's a lot of onus or responsibility placed on the city attorney to play referee, so to speak, in my words. And that might be a little unfair in certain cases, since or is that attorney-client privilege. So I think that the attorney needs to look at that maybe. Maybe I'm, out in left field on this, but it puts a lot of responsibility on the city attorney, maybe more than there should be, potentially. And so I just would like that to be examined a little deeper. But by and large, I think we're headed in the right direction. Thank you.
Councilman Reynolds.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, there's some language in here about, it's pretty vague about not being able to, council members not being able to speak to staff or give direction to staff. So when it says staff, you mean staff, not department heads, right? You can't, because we hire the department heads. They're our employees. We can speak with them, and that's the way our charter is designed. So, because the way this reads, that people only want to come to us when they want to get hired or they want to get a raise, but we can't talk to them after that. It's over. So I think that part of that language needs to be cleaned up, that it would just be staff, that we could address department heads, which in turn, Mr. Vice Mayor, you're absolutely correct. We put this policy in place before that if there's a conversation, that any data that is given to a council member, it's given to all council members, so we can all be brought to the table on it.
Right. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. So I'm looking, is there some suggestions you'd like to make to this ordinance as written, or what's our next step? Vice Mayor Smith, you made some
Yeah,
comments?
I've given in writing, and I can give some further, I gave you kind of a cheat sheet, one-page document, but I can add some more meat to that as to just some of my thoughts that I've already expressed.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I think it just needs some additional kind of bolstering there. And then I don't know if our city attorney wants to comment on, that concern that I raised. Maybe it's maybe it's not a concern. I'm sure he's had an opportunity to review that.
Get the mic on.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's comfortable with it, then that's fine.
This is presented in a model format for you. Obviously, our office drafts and reviews any ordinance or resolution that you ultimately pass. But the fact that it's presented as a draft ordinance, you have a couple of layers. You're going to pass an ordinance. You have a first reading or waiver of first reading of public hearing, and then adoption at the second reading. If you want to do it as a resolution, you can do that. You can also incorporate these changes into your governance handbook that you have, which sort of integrates these principles into that manual. The fact that it's formatted as an ordinance now would be the most sort of restrictive, prescriptive tool, the most formal version that you would expect. But we are just asking for direction at this point in time, and if there is some clarifying language, of course, that input is more than welcome. However you decide you want to pass these kind of policy statements is up to council. So that's part of the direction we're looking for from you.
Yeah, and just to briefly comment, so there was a little bit of interchange between, resolution and ordinance, and so I myself, in reading the document, wasn't completely, where were we headed with this, but the word ordinance was used far more in the document, so.
And that was the initial request and direction.
Right.
So it's currently in that format, but that's not to say that you can't, as a body, decide, you want to have something that's a little more flexible and less kind of prescriptive, make it a form of a separate resolution or policy, standalone policy, or you could ask us to incorporate those changes in more detail in sort of a policy and procedures aspect in your governance manual, but it's entirely up to you. Whatever your preference is, I'll do that.
Thank you. And the other, I just add one more comment. The thing I do like about this is that when there are concerns about behavior, on the council, and we're, if you will, for like a better way of saying it, self-policing, that it does provide structure as to how then we would move forward and handle that. And so to that, I really like this.
Thank you. And, to that point, you can be as granular as you'd like to be with respect to that procedure aspect. If it's in an ordinance, generally speaking, procedures that go with that usually are captured in a separate document. You don't usually lay out every single aspect of procedure in the ordinance itself. You can, appeal procedures have that often in things like administrative citations and so on. But it's really up to you how you want to express that and how granular you want to be in your processes. Just give us direction and we'll make that happen in the policy so you can consider it in its final form.
Mr. Mayor, just one more quick for the attorney. I'm sorry. So I don't want to drag this out too much, but so the phrase official misconduct kind of percolated up for me, and that's generally a term referred to for the DEA to make a determination and or maybe a grand jury, not so much a so if we make that kind of a statement, that we're kind of getting out into, if it's an ordinance, I could see some potential challenge possibly with that. Just a thought.
I can't predict the future, but I suspect that there's going to be two differing opinions about whether something is misconduct or not misconduct in any scenario that might happen later on down the road. So in terms of your defining it in the ordinance or in a policy or in a resolution, I believe you should be very specific about what you think that means as a body, and that can be your direction to us. We'll put it into the language accordingly, and hopefully it becomes functional instead of dysfunctional.
I think it should be clarified then. Thank you.
Understood. We'll take that as direction.
Okay. Councilman Reynolds is in the queue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, this is what we refer to, I believe, as a fluid document because there's many perspectives and many things that need to be looked at. And I would like a little more advanced notice that since we're creating law, if you will, in our own jurisdiction, that we would get more of a notice than 4 days or 3 days that this is on the agenda, because none of the rest, I didn't know. So I personally, and nothing personal, Mr. Attorney, but I would like to have my own attorney look at things and how he views the language to see what we are getting into and what our liability could be as a body with trying to govern people under things that are already in the government code and the charter.
Certainly happy to address that. Any member is always free to consult with their own counsel about something that they want or want to have reviewed or want to improve potentially. With respect to the issue of notice, we post the agenda with an appropriate amount under the Brown Act, 72 hours minimum advance notice. This is for direction.
That's for the public,
Let me just finish. Apologize. But also, I do want to note that in its form, its draft ordinance, that would require additional notice, public hearing, 2 readings, right, before you ever adopted it. That's quite an ample amount more time than just 4 days. So you're getting an early look now, but there's plenty of time and opportunity for revisions, consultation at your leisure. And again, we just take direction. Your direction might be it needs more thinking and, send it back to staff and whoever the moving parties are to make those revisions and bring it back to you. So no time pressure at all on you for doing this. Just give us your direction and we will follow it.
Thank you, sir. Just for clarification for the public, 72-hour notice is for the public. It's not for council members. We're the ones who they're asking to make these decisions. And for us to put our name on something, I think that there was some documents a couple of years ago that got blown by us, by the attorney, and we didn't see it, we didn't get it signed. We got it signed without proper document in there, so I would like to see this studied by my own attorney.
Again, no issues with that.
None at all.
And this is a direction, not an action item, so
Yes.
we're welcoming your input. We'll go from there.
Absolutely.
Councilman Weber's in the queue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, although I certainly do appreciate all the input tonight, it's wonderful that we're having this robust dialogue surrounding this. It's important to note that none of this is designed to prevent any kind of normal conversation with a department head or staff. It's actually designed to prevent specific direction given by a council person, vice mayor, mayor, to any one of those same department heads or staff, which is clearly outside of the scope of what our charter says. So this is just meant to be preventative in nature from something like this happening again. Okay, these are structures to follow. These will be protocols in place. We identified that there's no protocols to follow if something like this has been identified. Okay, so again, this is not meant to be restrictive in nature for any kind of conversation with staff regarding whatever we are dealing with. This is meant to be restrictive exclusively to anybody giving direction that is operating in the capacity of a singular person, not the whole council. So that's what this is all about. Transparency, accountability, those are 2 words that are really great words. So it's just, I think we're kind of overthinking this too. It's just meant to prevent some stuff. So, because we know that some things happened. So we're trying to prevent that from ever happening again.
Thanks, sir. I'm going to make a quick comment. In this council agenda item, I have a report from the League of Cities, which I attended, and it's kind of long and deleterious with the PowerPoints I presented, but interestingly, this is a topic up and down the state of California. This is not a particular topic for us. And so much so that if you really want to go through the detail, and you have a computer, you can go through all the PowerPoints, and there's a lot of information provided there. One of the most interesting things that I'll have to say right now, because I've come back from that conference, and their legal staff told us even a council member that looks at other council members' Facebook page if I were to put a like or an icon on, or what's that called, emoji, that would be considered a violation of the Brown Act.
Brown out.
So if you see us as council members not contributing to a Facebook page, that's why. We're that restricted in this world. And it's just because the Brown Act is kind of like this overcoming thing. So I was sitting there amazed that we're getting into that kind of detail, but that's in the report later on at the end of this agenda if you're willing to look at it. So I think we've given enough direction to staff, and we'll come back with this item. Thank you all for your input. Do we have any cards on this item?
We do not.
All right. We need to have the public hearing for item number 13. So let's open that up now. At what is it? 5:27 hours. The item number 13, introduction of an ordinance adding chapter 826 to title 8, triannual fire life safety inspection program for business B occupancies. Chief Tens, welcome.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. What you have in front of you tonight is an ordinance that establishes a triannual fire and life safety inspection program for business occupancies within the city of Orville. From the fire department standpoint, this ordinance is giving us a clear, consistent way to carry out inspections. We are already responsible for under CCR Title 19 in the California Fire Code under the Building Code. Business occupancies make up a large portion of buildings in the city, and regular inspections help us identify safety issues early before they turn into emergencies and put employees, customers, and first responders at risk. These inspections focus on basic life safety items like clear exits, working fire extinguishers, fire alarms, suppression systems, and general fire hazards. I want to be clear that this program is not intended to burden businesses or create unnecessary problems. Our approach is cooperative and educational based. When issues are found, we provide written notice and allow reasonable time for corrections. Immediate action is only required when there is immediate threat to life or property. The inspection fees are meant to recover the cost of staff time and program administration, similar to how we already handle other fire inspections. What this ordinance really addresses is a gap we currently have. While we perform these Title 19 inspections already, we have limited options when a business refuses access, does not correct violations, or does not pay required fees. This ordinance gives the fire department clear authority, reasonable enforcement tools when needed, and a defined appeal process to ensure fairness. Overall, this ordinance helps us apply the rules consistently, work more effectively with our business community, and continue our primary mission, keeping Orville safe. And I'm open to any questions.
Council questions of the chief?
So we already perform these inspections on several different levels, primarily like on R2 apartments and such. And we already do CCR Title 19 inspections currently in the city of Orville. This is a formal process that adds fairness across the board and acknowledgement of what is required.
And Mr. Mayor, if I may just
Yeah,
add in a little
please.
bit, I know this was, the chief and I have talked about this, I think, probably for
a while.
Year.
Yeah.
And really, I think it came out during our discussions on fire protection services and the contract, and then ultimately the change in hours with Cal Fire. And ultimately, what that did for us is it gave us 3 more firefighters to have available, and it gave really, I think, them more capacity to really do these things. So I'm thrilled that we're actually going out there and they're meeting the business owners, they're checking out the facilities, they're getting a lay of the land, they're identifying hazards and making it safe for all of our residents to be able to go out there and shop safely. So I think it's a great program. This doesn't talk about the fees. We'll come back with the fees. There is some ambiguity. We met last week and talked about that, so we need to do some work on that. And that's a little bit tougher nut to crack, I think, because this is one of those services that really provides great community benefit. And ultimately, if we did a full cost recovery model on this, it would be a pretty significant hit to the business owners. So we're going to come back with a few options for the council to consider on that particular component.
Thanks, sir. Vice Mayor Smith is in the queue.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just some observations I think that are important noting coming from a larger metropolitan area. As a CEO, I experienced annuals from our fire department. And so it was consistent, it was regular, I could count on it, I knew they were coming. So I think that in developing this, it's real important that we do likewise, that we have a process that businesses know that there's consistency and there's an expectation that's there. So just quickly, I checked with some of the businesses that I work with, and all of them had different experiences in Oroville as to whether they ever even had been inspected in their memory. And then some, that happened last week. So immediately that kind of came to the forefront of my mind. So if we do this as a council and then we codify this in this way, then I think that we need to have a process that our businesses can expect and know, and it's consistent. And then I also feel that with just the conversation of fees, and there's going to be a lot more conversation to that, I feel that it should be an annual part of your business license, so that as a business I know what to expect, that I can budget for that, and so that that's very clear and transparent for our businesses. And then it's not burdening the fire department with dealing with that. You're dealing with then if there's an inspection, there's a problem, or a re-inspect, and then you can handle those issues. Again, these are just my kind of quick observations, as we've only had this a couple of days, back to the earlier comments, to really think it through. But obviously, it's super important to have these for public safety. And just all the good work that the fire department does in educating our business community. There are things that just happen. You get used to running your business a certain way, and you're not even thinking about some of these safety issues. So I think that even when it comes to insurance and other issues, not being sued as business because you didn't have something that needed to be rightfully in place. So I think that there's a lot of good that comes out of inspections, although they can be painful. I've had my own experiences. Up into lawsuits with the fire department in another business. So I certainly can identify with sometimes frustration from the public, because you guys have a lot of power. But there's a reason for that, because public safety is absolutely paramount to everything that we do. So I support this, as want you to know, but I think there's a lot of nuts and bolts that need to be put to this in its development. So those are my comments initially. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Goodson's in the queue.
Yes, I just had a couple of questions, and I know that you had touched on it earlier, but just curious, how will this program ensure fair and consistent inspections for all business types, especially for the small businesses? And then my second question is, what outreach will you be providing to give folks a heads up, business owners, so that they can clearly understand the new fire line safety requirements before the inspections begin?
So I have some notes here, and this is information I've been taking in just in correspondence and conversations. I plan on updating our website with a ton of information, and these are basic life inspections. We're looking for, making sure fire extinguishers are charged. We're looking for, electrical hazards, exiting, emergency lighting, exits and stuff like that. We're not really digging in deep. We're not looking at roofs.
But
We're not
standard
doing
above board for everybody, because if you do for
Very
one, you
standard.
have to do for all.
Yep. And these are specific to only B occupancies. We do inspections, especially state mandated inspections like mercantiles, R2 residential apartments and such. So this is just another extension to that. But this primarily focuses on offices, retail shops, some restaurants, professional service buildings where people work, and the public visits, such as like doctor's offices and stuff like that.
Thank
And
you.
all this information will, if approved by council, will be put on our website for informational purposes. And we always reach out ahead of time. The administrative assistant for the fire department will reach out to these businesses ahead of time and give them a heads up. And she can answer any questions, and I'm always available as well. The idea is to make the business successful.
Transparency.
Across the board.
Thank you.
Before disaster. And it's important to remember too, in downtown, a lot of businesses are connected. So if one place catches on fire, there's a likely of an entire block catching on fire in historic downtown Oroville. And this is a preventative measure to make sure that doesn't happen. It's really for our firefighters to get into these businesses, identify the hazards, meet with the community, the public, educate them, talk to them, and get them up to par. And in here, it gives them 30 days. We can always give extensions also, but like I said, these are when we come in, they're pretty minor corrections. Nothing too expensive.
So just curious, when are we going to get into the fee structure?
Well, there's already fees established, and we need to clean it up, and that's kind of the conversation we've had, is a fair fee, because we're not really trying to make money on it. There is some cost recovery on the administrative part that I think is necessary to recoup, but I don't want to get too deep into the fees because I think that's a whole nother discussion. But there's already fees established, and some of them are extremely high, and I haven't been going with that. I've been going with a different level just because of cost.
How many people are on your inspection crew?
Our engine companies are doing it because I feel it's important that our firefighters are out meeting with the business owners and seeing the buildings themselves and getting familiar with them before, worst case scenario. They know where the basements
You're on
are.
South side, and
It
I
would
won't
be-
jump to any
It'll be my engine
conclusions.
companies or my battalion chiefs that go out and
Okay.
are performing that. So guys that are responding to calls are going to be the ones there.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate this discussion, and I think we should separate that. We have the fire marshal in the building department does other different inspections. These inspections we're talking about here are fire personnel. Related to the fee structure, I know some other communities, there may not be a charge for the first inspection, but the re-inspections, they do charge for that being some of the business owner fails to respond to whatever needs are. I think that would be a fair way to go, because then, we're not trying to, like you say, we're not trying to, increase the income. We're trying to get people in compliance. So if you have that as a tickler to, if we have to come back after 30, 60 days, whatever period of time, and I know you're going to be reviewing that, I think that's in the ordinance, but if not, I think we'd be interested to see that kind of activity.
Yeah. And just some quick feedback too, Fritz. My crews have been out. It's been a few months, but we've been out. We've done probably close to 80 inspections over the last few months. And some businesses are doing a fantastic job. Really, there's not a lot of corrections out there with the stuff, or they're very minor. But there are things, like usually when we find something that's significantly out of compliance, like extinguishers that haven't been charged since the 90s.
Yeah.
Wow.
That may not work. Councilman Johnstone's in the queue.
Thank you. So I appreciate this, that you're taking a proactive stance to this, that you're building relationships with the business owners, that you're getting to know the layout of each of the locations. So not only is it building relationships with them, but it's also giving your people the opportunity to know the layout, understand, in case of an emergency too. So I appreciate that you're taking a proactive stance on that. And I just wanted to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Just definitely being proactive on this one. I'd rather act now. I mean, I could stand up here and list of a bunch of fires where it hasn't been a positive outcome. So hopefully we can prevent that.
Okay, that council question, do we have any cards on this?
Yes, we do, Mr. Mayor. We have
Okay.
3 cards. We'll begin with Marcia Henderson and follow that with John Zillich.
Welcome, Marcia.
Good evening. Okay, so I don't have anything prepared for you, and pardon my voice, but I saw this agenda yesterday, and I read the topic title, and it says triannual. And so a little red flag went off in my head, and because to me, triannual means 3 times a year. And we looked it up, but of course then my head starts to spin because of all the business advocacy projects that we do. So I hadn't read the packet, the staff report yet, but I took that piece of information with me because it didn't, the agenda did not go into explaining it was every 3 years. Okay. I spoke with several business owners today, and this is some of the feedback that I got from them is they're all very much for fire safety. They appreciate having a safe environment. They don't know really what led up to all of this. Why do we need to have more inspections? Of course, at that time, we were thinking it's 3 times a year. But I do have and then I did contact everybody and said, no, it's triennial. And thank you, Eric, for helping me with that word. It should read triennial, not triannual, because.
We don't know that. We don't know that. The name is triannual. You want to do
Yeah,
3 times a year?
you guys need to change the, please consider changing the word on that. It should not read triannual, it should read triennial, because that means every 3 years. Triannual means 3 times a year. So anyhow, a comment about, to CAL FIRE about getting to know the layout of the building. Well, to get an occupancy permit, the business owner has to provide a graphic layout of the building. And so, if I'm not mistaken, is that correct, Patrick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So I don't think that I think that it would be incumbent on for the CAL FIRE to maybe go through those permits layouts first. If they really want to know what the layout of the building is, then they have a resource to do that, and that would be the occupancy permit. Another question that the business owners had was, what about vacant buildings? Why aren't we addressing vacancies? Also, before I go, under 8.26, I feel like we should add the word unremediated when it says any violation of this chapter may result in.
Thank you, Marcia. Thank you. Oh, Vice Mayor Smith is in the queue. Did you have a question for Marcia?
Yeah, Marcia, just a comment from me. In the Bay Area, I had a 20,000 square foot school that I ran for almost 15 years. And I appreciated that annual visit from the fire department, met with my staff. They knew where the different classrooms, whether kindergarten or 5th or 6th grade, they knew where, and they came and so they had kind of a working knowledge. And so from that standpoint, I think that it's beneficial to have the boots on the ground that are going to be the ones responding if there's an incident to one of our businesses, that at least there's some level of familiarity. And so I guess that's kind of the sentiment I get in talking with the fire guys. And I know, again, from running the school with children, very precious cargo, if you will. So there was an appreciation that I had, even though sometimes they were annoying in those inspection processes. But it was very valuable, I guess, and that's what I'm trying to say. So I do see a value in that. Yeah, and likewise, yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have John Zillich, followed by Eric Shanky.
Welcome, John.
Meeting year, you see me twice in one night. I'm going to do my best to keep this under 2 minutes.
Okay.
8.26.030 required inspections. It says in here every 3 years, obviously. The fire code official may conduct more frequent inspections based upon, gives a list of reasons. If I were y'all, I would detail this out a little bit better, because a barber shop has a small amount of chemicals, a salon has a lot of chemicals, but if you only inspect the salons, the barber shops might be like, hey, what the hey? I think there's a little bit more detail that needs to go in here. I know you want to leave it broad, that way it's at will, but you might want to define it a little bit better, exactly who will be getting inspected more, who will be getting inspected less. Otherwise, who knows what's going to happen? I have no clue. Under 8.26.050 under fees, I 100% agree, Mr. Pittman. If you're inspected and there's nothing wrong, I think there shouldn't be a fee, in my personal opinion. However, if there is something wrong, they would pay a fine, and then maybe they get put on the every 3 years or every 2 years or whatever you feel like. Because I know there are some businesses in town, they're right on top of it. Mm-hmm. So maybe they only get inspected every 5 years because they've been on top of it, they got a history of it. But it's one of those things that, okay, now you're on probation. Now you have a violation, now there's a violation, there's a reason to be on probation. We live in a society where, unfortunately, once again, my opinion, where people who follow the law and people who do the right things and everything else always end up having to get inspected more, get your guns inspected, apply for more permits, everything else, because of the people who don't. So I would love to see this written in such a way that if you're a law-abiding citizen and you get everything checked out and you're good to go and you've got a great history and all that, well then, your inspections get further apart, so on and so forth. The other thing I noticed under here is under notice and compliance. My wife's a small business owner. She rarely gets time off. it would be pretty awesome if she had the time to go to Hawaii or something. But if there was a no notice, you know, like if there's no 24-hour notice or 48-hour notice or anything like that, and knock, knock, we're here to inspect, the employee's panicking, you know what I mean? Maybe there could be a notice given, because overall, I believe this is intended to catch the people who are repeat violators and to shorten the span that they're allowed to violate. But at the same time, I think this is going to be a lot more restrictive on everybody. And with all the interviews that we've done with all the people in town, based upon the ad hoc committee that you've empowered us with, we know that people really want less government and less intrusions. And that's coming from the people who follow the letter of the law. Obviously, if you have problem childs in the community that we need to deal with that are being unsafe and going to hurt someone else, yes, then I'm perfectly fine with the fact that you want to inspect them, whatever you want to do, by all means. But I'm just trying to make it where the good law-abiding citizens that are doing everything correctly aren't held to the same tier. That's all.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Up next, we have Eric Shanky.
Welcome, Eric.
Thank you. I'm a small business owner in town. This is just creating another burden for small business owners. I don't think you guys should do it. You're using the justification of public safety. I pay for liability insurance on my building. Anybody hurt in my building, I have $1 million of coverage. My insurance does not come and inspect to see what this or that. No, they're the ones that are liable if anything goes wrong. If inspections were so helpful or efficient, why isn't my insurance company doing it? Why am I being forced to do it? I hope you guys will not vote for more inspections. It's a burden on small business.
That's all I have for submitted speaker cards, sir.
Chris, you want to
I have a question
comment?
for Chris.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah. So Title 19 requires that inspections are done. I don't think it specifies how frequently, but so maybe just speak to that because that was raised.
So they're mandated when you open a business. They're mandated when the occupancy change or if there's a change in ownership. And that's under the Title 19 and under Fire Code as well. But like I said, this is an opportunity for us to get into the community and visit these businesses ahead of time before there is an emergency. We're already out doing it, and we can already require them. And we do reach out to businesses before we go. We don't just knock and show up. Nancy, our administrative assistant, calls ahead of time. She schedules it based on what's best for the business. We're not in a rush to get in there. It's not like we're going door to door. These are grouped occupancies based off the business type, and that's the once every 3 year concept. So we'll focus on, say, hair salons 1 year. Then we'll focus on doctor's offices the next year. And it circles all the way back to 3 years. We can push them out to 4. I don't really recommend it. But like I said, this is an opportunity to get in there, especially during the holidays when we, primarily in the larger box office stores where they're really stocking up on inventory and there's boxes all the way up. And I'm not speaking to the downtown businesses, but these are things that we see in the field, and it's important for us to get in there. In the case of emergency, we see exits blocked. If there's a fire, we need to educate the community on that kind of stuff. We need to get in there ahead of time and educate them.
Councilman Goodson's in the queue.
Yes. Thank you. I don't know your name. Eric. And so we understand that you have a business, but I looked at your face as Chief Tins responded to Councilman Eric, Vice Mayor. And so I don't want you to leave without clarity on this, and especially in the definition of what the Title 19 dictates. Are you okay? That's what I wanted. I didn't want you to leave with that. Okay.
Title 19 does
I would just, what's the?
The initial, maybe on the initial, but not these reoccurring ones.
Chris, would you come up? I know it's not 19, but the other one that requires the annual inspection that the state requires us to do.
There is a state as well, and under fire code as well, that gives us the authority to go in and perform these as needed, and we do it.
So we're
This
not,
cleans it up.
we're not,
is what
yeah,
I'm
we're
saying.
cleaning it up by not doing it every year. His suggestion is every 3 years, so that there's, and the reality is, whether we get them all or not, may not be because it's time and effort. And time and effort sometimes doesn't get them all. In fact, that's why some people have made a comment, haven't seen a fire marshal or a fireman in years. That's because we haven't got around to them all. I mean, that's a reality. But I also want to make a mention, John made a mention of a word, probation. We're not using that word in this ordinance, so I don't want to put anybody on probation. I mean, I appreciate your sentence, and I understand your definition, but we're not going to, I don't see any suggestion to put that in the ordinance to have people on probation. That's not our thought pattern. So
you're saying the state has a ordinance that the fire department can inspect any business at any time?
it's required to inspect annually.
Every business. And that's not Title 19, that's something, that's a separate.
Something else, yeah, right. Yeah,
It's
it's
under
in fire
California
code.
fire codes.
Yeah,
It references 3 different
yeah.
jurisdictions in the ordinance.
So we're not trying to, we're trying to respect to the state fire code, but at the same time, we have some flexibility to interpret it the way we'd like to, and that's what the chief has brought to us.
It's just a matter of how often do we want to do it.
Yeah.
But you're saying they mandated it
So-
yearly?
There's verbiage in fire code that gives us the authority to inspect.
It doesn't mandate.
It was recently passed in 2018 by the state of California, and that's.
And that grants authority or mandates?
No, it mandates. It's one of those unfunded state mandates that we can't accomplish. So
Okay.
we're trying to adjust it in a reasonable manner, I think is the best thing to say. All right, Vice Mayor Smith is back in the queue, or are you still in?
Yeah, no, I just put it. So, just real brief. In my opening comments, I said that there's a lot more to know. There's a lot more nuts and bolts. And I think so to all these concerns, obviously, you need to bring this back, and then we need to look at what's being presented. And then we have a lot of opportunity for the business community,
Right.
which today, I just let them know, hey, there's something coming in this respect. So there's a lot more education, and there's going to be a lot more input. So this is just the beginning of a long, maybe somewhat of a long conversation. But at the end of the day, I think all of us would agree that we want to see a higher level of safety for our community. We all know the tragic impact that fire has had, in particular, to our region. And to that end, I think we all can agree that something maybe a little bit more needs to be done. Thank you.
Well, that's the intent of this public hearing. Do we have any more cards? I forgot to ask.
No, sir, that's the last submitted speaker card.
So with that, I think we have direction given. Everybody understand what we're going to? And then we'll be bringing this back for a relook at the fee structures.
Yeah, that'll probably be a second, different item.
Yeah, that'll be separate. Am I hearing, do you want another opportunity to see this before we bring it back for adoption? I mean, it doesn't have to come back for adoption. We
Right.
can make the edits and bring those back for adoption.
I think that's the best way to go myself. Looking at consensus here, just make the edits and bring it back.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, I'm going to close the public hearing. Direction given. We're back to item, back here, hold on here. 9.
9.
Item number 9. Who has this one?
Tim does.
Tim, museum curator.
Olay.
Good evening again. This is a similar request to what we had last year, providing matching the $600 donation from the Docents Association to the White Lion Dancers for the Chinese New Year celebration that's happening this weekend at the Chinese Temple.
Councilman Goodson's in the queue.
Yes, that's a matching donation. I was just curious, what is the original booking cost for securing the White Lion dancers?
I do not know.
Was
the
it
answer.
1,200 and we're putting in 600?
Yes,
Okay,
we're splitting the cost.
I didn't know. Okay, thank you.
And just a quick question, they'll be here 11 to 2 on Saturday?
Sir.
And are they going to be at the temple?
They're going to be at the temple.
weather permitting?
Weather permitting, I'll ask and we'll
The
put
reason
out
I
on
say is,
socials.
I think last year we had to move them to the State Theater. Frankly, I got to tell you, that was really nice. When they did move to the State Theater, it was nice to see the dances on the stage. So I would put that as an alternate because the weather seems to be
Iffy?
might be iffy for the day.
I will ensure that we give enough notice
Yeah.
beforehand and provide it to all council and on
I'm
the
just
socials.
saying what happened last year, so that worked out really well. Any council comments? Any comment cards?
No, sir.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the $600 contribution from the Community Enhancement Budget Unit to support the hiring of the White Lion dancers for the Chinese New Year celebration.
Second.
Call roll.
Motion passes 6 yeses, 1 absent.
Thank you all. Item number 10, the additional road funding for fiscal year 25-26. Who has that? Mr. Green.
Yeah, I'll kick it off. This was actually a direction from the council back, I think it was 2 meetings ago, to bring this item back forward for consideration of $200,000 for additional funding for road improvements for this fiscal year. Did work with Public Works in the staff report. There's an item in there which shows how if $200,000 were allocated, how those dollars would be spent. I also included in the staff report just the fact that, it's this money would come out of contingencies if it's approved. With that said, budgets are getting tighter. Contingencies, if there are savings in those there, they would help balance next year's budget. We're in a tough situation. I mean, the funds are short, the needs are high.
Councilman Weber's in the queue.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, we're all acutely aware that money is tight, revenues are down, and we face extreme things in the future for sure. But with that, we also face 110 miles of roads that are inside of our city limits that are deteriorating at a rate faster than we could fix them. So is $200,000 even an answer? Actually, it's not. The state gives us a ridiculous amount per year, for those 110 miles of roads. If you consider that it cost $1 million to repave 1 mile of road, and we've got 110 miles, and what do they give you, Tim? 1.8 million or something per year or something. It's ridiculous. So $200,000 from roads from contingency for Tim and his team is nothing compared to what Tim and Wade and your guys, it's nothing compared to what you need. We've already got a little bit of money from the state. We had a little bit more on. This is just to try to give you guys some mastic, some whatever you choose to do. We're grind and pave, overlay, crack sealing, whatever, but you guys need those funds. But the real question I have is this. I understand that, it is, contingencies are set up for contingencies. I understand that Ruth wants to keep the money there too, and I get it, and I wanted to, but what is the cost of doing nothing though? That's the real question. What is the cost of doing nothing as we watch our roads further deteriorate, And so I think we need to do something. And so there's what I have to say about that. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you for considering this item.
Councilman Goodson's in the queue.
Yes, so doing the math, in our contingency fund, there's a total of, there was $500,000. And then we've already spent $101,560. Now remaining before tonight is $398,440. We're proposing to withdraw an additional $200,000, which the remaining after the withdrawal is going to be $198,440. So here's the question. Given that our contingency fund will drop considerably, and if we were to approve this, that only leaves $198,000 in the kitty. Can staff explain whether that remaining balance is sufficient enough to cover unexpected needs, emergency needs for the rest of the fiscal year? I'm just asking. I mean, $198,000, that's a Lexus and a half. So
So contingencies are really for unbudgeted needs that come up throughout the year. Then you have reserve, which is more for emergent situations. If there were emergencies, we're not talking about, I just want to make sure we're not talking about the same.
Yeah.
But with that said, contingency is part of fund balance, and if we have fund balance left over, then that rolls over to help us balance the next year. But we're not talking about the $9 million that is in there for.
No, we're
the
not
reserve,
talking about reserve.
which would
No.
be for like emergency situations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, no, we understand that distinction. Yeah.
Okay. Councilman Reynolds is in the queue.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, this isn't really the way this works. Council members don't direct funding. Budgets are set by department heads, and they let us know what they need, and then we either approve it or not approve it. We don't direct it. And the contingency fund is for any unforeseen costs or additional costs on a project. These are contingency funds on Hewitt Park. That project is not complete, and we should not be divvying up the contingency funds until it is complete, because we heard our Public Works Director say that there's still many
Unforeseen.
things that are not remedied or taken care of or paid for, and signage is one of them. So we shouldn't even be considering this. This is not how this works. We all want the roads fixed. When I was mayor, I appropriated $1.5 to $2 million all 4 years I was in as mayor. What happened to that, I don't know. I hope it was spent on the roads. I wasn't here for a couple of years. But $200,000 is nothing when it comes to
droplet.
this. It's a gesture, and this is not how this government body functions. So I am a no on this. We need to speak to our department heads telling us what they need, and either approve or not approve. We do not set the budget. And like I said, he still needs to finish this job. Am I correct?
I still do need funds for Hewitt, yes.
Yes,
For
sir.
Hewitt Park.
Thank you.
Vice Mayor Smith is in the queue.
Yeah, and that was actually why I wanted to ask staff, because you're, in the chair. So my only concern, and I expressed this earlier, is that staff sees this as a contingency need, because obviously I think it's already been well expressed, roads. There's not enough love to go around to address their needs, right? And so then it comes right back to staff. I'm looking at you. Do you feel that you can, in this budget cycle, spend that $200,000 and even addressing it, or is it something that can be put off to the next fiscal year in June, and then we add additional dollars to this much needed issue of roads, or is it better to allow this to remain for the purpose in which it was originally designed, which is contingency? And so to me, this is really a staff question, yes or no. I mean, fundamentally.
Well, I'll speak.
I mean, putting you in the hot seat a little bit. I understand that.
It's okay. When this was brought up, the weather was dry. Last year we had 2 culvert blowouts. One cost $90,000. The other cost about $100,000. We haven't had any of those this year, but it is raining outside right now. This, I think, would be appropriate in April, after the wet season. After the risk of culvert blowouts is mostly gone.
That makes sense. That's wise.
Okay. Councilman Weber's in the queue.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So I guess the question I have for our attorney is, would it be appropriate use of contingency funds to use it for something like this?
That's really a finance question, not an attorney. Legally, you can make determinations about what you want to do, but it's a finance question, really.
Okay. So paving season starts soon, to your point, as soon as the wet season's over, okay? And so we have these roads that are deteriorating, all of us, every single district in this whole entire community. I don't know about the rest of this body, but I know that bar none, the biggest thing I hear complaints about is, well, two things, the unhoused and the roads, period, okay? And so contingency dollars are set up for those rainy days, that we may need. And but they're also set up to where they're there for the balance of the fiscal year. Here we are at the end of the fiscal year. And so if we can, if they can be used for this, then I don't see any harm in using them in order to facilitate this. Because the question I have for you, Tim, is could you use $200,000, in extra paving dollars to get some grind and overlay done and whatever you need?
I could, absolutely.
Okay. Do you think it's an appropriate use of these dollars? I mean, because it's, and I'm not trying to cross-examine you, but I mean, we have a massive need out there. It's, everybody that drives these roads can clearly see. So, and the benefit in to kind of counter the $200,000 being nothing, $200,000 would be nothing if it was that prevailing wage, if we had to pay a contractor to do it. But we could stretch those dollars significantly, being that we have an incredibly well-equipped roads crew. We have great equipment, and we have an excellent. I mean, I paid for 3 seasons when I was younger, in my early 20s, and I've watched our paving crew in action. These guys actually know what they're doing, So you've got an excellent crew, so they could get quite a bit done with a simple grind and overlay to remove a lot of the alligatoring and holes that we see. So $200,000 can actually go a long way in the hands of your crew.
Yeah, I would use these funds not on the poor roads. These would not go onto roads that are rattling your teeth as you're going over them. These would go to the roads where I can extend the life of it significantly, so I don't have to pay for it next year or the year after. But these funds I could use these funds in under a month from the approval to use them. So it doesn't have to, it can wait till April, May.
Okay, that was going to be my suggestion. If we pass this and just give you the time to get past the winter season and start using these funds in April.
Yeah.
As part of the thing, and then it's pretty simple, and we're kind of past the threat of the winter storm drainage, and these would just be additional funds for road work. I mean, if that seems to me the reasonable, because you can't get anything done anyway. You can't get hot mix from the plant, so.
Anything I put on the road right now would be useless.
Right, it doesn't, so I would say just amend this policy to start this activity after the rainy season's over with. And that gives you flexibility and gives us an ability to have some time on the contingency fund in case something else happens in the meantime. That's my suggestion at this point. Councilman Reynolds in the queue.
Yes, sir. I agree with what you said at the end there, but it sounded like two things. I think that we should leave this money right where it is and finish the jobs we're on. And then if the funds are still there in April or May, by all means, use them. But I think we need to finish the projects that we are nearing the end of, and rather than spend the money that we have set aside for that and then hope we can come up with some money if additional costs come up. It makes sense to me to leave it in the bank. And believe me, I drive on the same roads as everyone else. I'm wondering what has been set aside by this council for the budget for this last fiscal year. It would have been 24 that was set for this last year, and I'm kind of wondering how much we had set aside for the roads, and have we used all that? And what did we use it on? Because I understand there was equipment bought. We were going to form our own asphalt crew or something, and that got used for a couple of times, and now we're not using that. I'm asking you, do you know what your budget was, sir?
It was, for this current year, is $2 million.
Yeah.
On the road.
What, for the current year, coming up 26, 27?
26, 27 haven't submitted yet.
Okay, $2 million. And
I'm going
you received
to-
those funds? And they were spent?
Current year,
Yes.
current year. I have not spent all of those funds yet.
Okay. All right. So we're doing okay with the road budget. Yeah, because 2 million's about what we allot every year. So I personally, I'm one for leaving it in the bank and not spending it and hoping for the best. I think that we should finish the jobs we're on. Thank you.
Councilman Goodson?
I'll just reiterate, you probably already know what my vote is, but I'm not comfortable with just leaving 198,000 in contingency. That's just not enough for me. Not even, well, I was going to say my personal account. I need a cushion, and I'm not comfortable with this. Okay. So, you know, and you think of just like we're on SCORE. And so when we approve of a project, we always say at the end, just to CYA, 10% contingency. How many of those projects do we have with that 10% contingency? You leave just 198,000 in here. Do the math.
Okay, I don't see anybody else in the queue. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we leave the funding where it is until.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Any question on the motion? Got it?
Leave it in the account?
That's what his motion is.
Okay.
We'll call the roll.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Wait a minute.
So let me make sure that the motion was leave the money in the account, do not spend it right now.
Leave the money
at
in the
least.
contingency fund
Yes.
until
Okay.
we finish the
Thank
jobs
you.
we're on.
There you go.
Yes.
And then until we finish the jobs we're on, does that mean,
Sorry.
and I'm just getting clarity, does that mean you want us to bring this back in April? Maybe that would be a better way of doing this when
I'll go
the
for
jobs
that.
are
Let's bring it
done,
back.
Hewlett
rainy.
Park is finished and open, absolutely.
Yeah.
Or bring it back at the end of the winter
Just
season.
bring
Yeah,
it
we can just
back.
bring it back.
Just
I mean,
bring
in
it back.
April or May, whenever the
Yeah,
rainy.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
All right.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I had a panic attack.
And with that, the motion passes 4 yeses, 2 nos, 1 absent.
Okay, thank you all. Item number 11, grant funding for fiscal year 2025.
It's getting hot in
Is
here.
that Brian? Is that you?
Sure, I'll kick this one off again, but this was, again, direction that was given to bring this item before the council.
Yeah.
And obviously, we are looking every single day for grant opportunities. And I know had conversations with Amy and other staff, and if we have the resources internally to do those, we absolutely will do that. Writing a grant, I've learned in the last few weeks it's $20,000 for a
Absolutely.
relatively small grant. We wouldn't, if the council wishes to allocate $50,000 for grant writing, we wouldn't do it unless we thought we had a good opportunity to get those dollars, and it'd have to be the right grant. We're not just gonna spend the money to spend the money. In fact, we could even bring it back before the council if they wanted to choose to apply for a particular grant. But that's what the idea was, is to provide some resources for grant writing abilities. If we see something we really think we have a good chance for, that we have a need for, we don't have the staff internally to do it.
He's busy.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
Whoa.
Councilman Weber,
Yeah.
I'd like to claim your time and go before you.
Sure.
Thank you. So I'm just curious, how much money have we given the Ferguson Group? And, I'm like Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately?
Yep.
So. Huh?
How much do we pay the Ferguson Group?
Yes.
It is $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
Whew, what have we got for it?
Working on relationships over in DC, it doesn't happen overnight.
No, I understand that. You should send me.
Well, go ahead, Councilman Weber's next, if you're done. Okay. Go ahead, Councilman Weber.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, grants, they're obviously expensive to pursue. And when we have this relationship with our are the team that was just talked about. I can't remember their name. Please, please forgive me, but
Ferguson Group, yeah.
What's that?
Ferguson Group.
Yeah, thank you very much. Our relationship with them is not exclusively or specific to getting grants, but if you want to actually go after grants, like the Ferguson Groups have a grant writing element in it. So even if you have them in a relationship like we have, you still have to go after specific grants. So there's grant writing firms everywhere that do this. And it's very expensive to do it, but the payoff could be amazing.
Right.
And we all have wish list items that we want. For instance, south side and your curb and gutter and all that, or this, proposed wildlife refuge or whatever we're going to end up, we'll determine what it's going to be called, but along the levee, there's lighting, there's, we talked about a couple of weeks ago, another meeting, we talked about a potential, park patrol. There's all these wish list items that every single one of us have. And so the payoff could be amazing. I mean, if we could allocate, some money to be slid over in that staff's direction to go hunt these grants down, bring them to us, go after them. And I mean, you could cost $20,000 to $30,000 per grant to write it. But I mean, the payoff could be in the millions, millions. So again, I don't know if there's an appetite. I mean, clearly there has been on display some animus toward the idea of using any contingency funds for anything other than whatever. But I would love to see us try to give staff some tools to pursue some of these things because we clearly are roads. Like, wouldn't it be nice to get another $1 million whatever it would look like. We need help, And so grant writing firms can definitely help us get there. So here's what I have to say about it.
Councilman Johnstone's in the queue.
Thank you. So the Ferguson Group, they're basically just telling us for this $5,000 a month, they're telling us they're not grant writing for us, right? They're just telling us like what grants to go for based upon the
They have different teams. They have lobbyist teams that will lobby for, they'll keep us up to date on federal legislation, the federal budget. They'll advocate for us if we have legislative needs. So there's that side. Then there's the grant side. We get grant emails. I get probably 3 or 4 a day. I forward them out to staff as we get them. We analyze them. We see, and it's great to have those eyes because frankly, I don't think we have contacts, but it's nice to have someone point these out. And I mean, you can ask staff what they think about them too, because we all get them. There's a couple in the queue right now we're actually talking about internally to see if they're worthwhile to apply for. It takes time, and obviously then the next thing is establishing relationships with the delegation back in D.C. If we, obviously right now, without a member in the House, it's in Congressman LaMalfa, he had a great relationship and a great rapport with everybody here locally. But who's to say what the next representative that we have, we might not have a similar relationship with. That takes some time to develop.
Might be better.
The senators as well. A lot of agencies go back to D.C. on an annual basis because you spend 2 or 3 days in there, you get FaceTime with them. When they hear the city of Orville, then it will mean more to them if you put some FaceTime with them. So it takes time. It's a lot of money. I don't dispute that. And maybe we'll have to, next budget cycle, it's going to be even tighter. So are we going to be able to do that again next fiscal year? I guess we'll find out here in May and June when we do the budget. But they have grant writing ability. Like, for example, there was one we were looking at, and I got a quote from them. It was $18,000. But then I also talked to the city of Chico, just trying to glean how they are dealing with their grant, and they're doing the same thing. They're farming it out, and it's $15,000, $20,000, $25,000.
And we don't have that currently budgeted in.
We don't have grant writing in our budget right now. No, we don't.
So then this $50,000 theoretically could take up 1 or 2 grants that we go for.
It could.
Theoretically.
It could.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Goodson.
So we do have a grant writer, but Amy is a specialist in a specificity.
Amy has been very, I'm not going
to
speak for Amy, but if there's something out there and we've talked about it, and if she feels comfortable doing it, she's do anything for the city. I'm going to say Kayla applied for a grant for us in the last couple of months. We haven't heard from that yet, but so we're doing everything. We're looking at it from a lot of different angles.
In the queue.
Vice Mayor Smith is in the
No,
queue.
I'm
Go
still
ahead.
in the queue.
I thought you were done.
Yeah. So I wanted to address that comment that you mentioned, that there's been some angst about the the contingency funding, right? Okay, so bear with me. It's not that I have disdain for using the contingency funding. I just want to be good fiscal stewards of the money. I'm more of a reserved. But if you recall, when you first brought this to our attention, I was the second one on this to give you a thumbs up. So I'm in full agreement with this.
Okay. Vice Mayor Smith.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this can be answered, because obviously there's a little bit of concern. Contingency is just that when you do a job, as a contractor, right? It was there for a reason, and I almost found you always dipped into it more often than not, typically.
Typically budget for if we have a project, we're going to budget 10, 15%. So it's
Right.
really not for that, but it's for like Tim was saying, we had two major six-figure blowouts last year. We had some damage in the
that's
finance
right.
office. I mean, those unforeseen emergent issues that need to get done, they can't wait. That's what we've typically used it for, but it can be used for any unbudgeted need
Sure.
that the council chooses to
Sure,
do.
and we
But that's
can-
what it has been for. We have to do this right now. We don't have a choice. We
Right,
haven't have a
right.
budget for it.
Right. Yeah, because you have to have that.
Emergency fund.
Yeah, that bucket to pull from to deal with the contingency. But the question I would have is there may be something that's more palatable, a different budget hole, if you will, for an unprofessional way of saying it, that may be more palatable, that is not currently, that there's dollars left in there that we can pull from. At the end of the day, it's the big checkbook. It all comes out. It all comes out in the wash, as they say.
It's called the
But-
rabbit hole.
It's a but I think again, just for massaging the concern about dipping into contingency. So that's one question. Then the other one is more of a practical one, in that so if staff had to fit, and this was asked before, but just for clarity, I think I asked it actually. So how would specifically the dollars be spent? In other words, so now you have $50,000 set aside for a grant opportunity. And so something comes into the scope of city staff. So in a practical sense, how would those dollars now be converted into going after that grant? Who's going to do it? Who's writing it? Is there a firm that we would then reach out to? I mean, in real time, how would you then access and implement those dollars?
Right now, we have an agreement with the Ferguson Group. They could do it. We got a quote, again, like I said, last week or two, but it was
Right.
$18,000-$19,000, and it just didn't feel like the one to me. But ultimately, we could monitor those grants. We can bring those grants forward to the council if we find one that we think has potential and is checking a box on, obviously, some of our priorities. We can do that. But that's one option. We could contract with another outside person. But if we also, before we do any of that, we check internally. We look internally that we have resources inside that feel comfortable that they can do this. I mean, that's the first. That's the best option is if we can do it in-house.
It's a good question.
I would just like to add, a lot of the ones that are coming through from the Ferguson Group are very quick turnaround, so I don't know if it would be realistic to have to come to the council to vote on them, because sometimes they're like within 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and,
Okay.
but that's,
So just to that, for further clarification, so right now we're spending $5,000 a month on Ferguson, building relationships. But then when they come back with an opportunity, there's not the funding then to execute that. So that's potentially a problem. So we should have probably had the $50,000 in there as a part of that whole plan, because then you can have all kinds of operating, like you just expressed. There's not enough time to come, get it on the agenda and as to vote and deliberate. So this makes a lot of sense to
Right.
do this. It's just I think the issue is the bucket.
I don't want to speak for Brian, but I think when he brought you the Ferguson Group, it wasn't on our radar for them to be grant writers. It was more for lobbyists, because we were trying to get on earmarked and all the different things
Okay.
there. But as we went through and they were giving us new opportunities to apply for funds, we realized that there's a lot there that we don't have the capacity to identify and work through.
It could be the best $50,000 we ever spent.
Right.
So-
Yeah.
I have a
Okay.
comment as well. I see Ron's over there. He wants to talk too. We might be
Yeah.
saying the same thing, so I'll let Ron go first.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to mention when we did the hazard mitigation grant, we were encouraged to go after it because it was pretty much a sure thing. And we had nobody on staff that could write that grant, so we reached out to a consulting firm called California Consultants, and we paid them $10,000. That was covered in the grant.
Mm-hmm.
So we recovered that, but we pretty much knew we were getting that grant when we got it, so.
Wilson?
I just want to speak on my experience with the Ferguson Group. If you don't have that in place, I will tell you that the grant world right now, I just got awarded, the DOJ tobacco inspection grant. Grants are not free money. The 167 grand that I got will 100% take $167,000 worth of work from my employees to be able to do tobacco inspections.
Right.
So they're not all about, you get a big pocket of money and we just get to spend it on whatever we want. Additionally, it's not a guarantee that you will get a grant if you pay for someone to write the grant. There's no guarantee you're going to get it. But you have to have, just as my opinion, if you don't have somebody like the Ferguson Group in place that is representing our city, I know that they did work for the county and other areas. They've been very successful. If you don't have that in place, it reduces your opportunity to get a grant or even get your foot through the door.
Right.
So I think it's important that that group stays so we see what the end of the rainbow looks like right now.
I'm actually in the queue right now, and I'm going to add a couple things here from our last council meeting we had where we had the presentation from the Army Corps of Engineers. And clearly that report indicates we need some funding to fix our levee. Just a good example. And there's about between $3 and $8 million needed. And the Ferguson Group actually brought forth a couple suggestions in that whole grant process, but we need to act quickly, especially if the feds are going to throw money at levies and that kind of thing. So I think this is a very valuable activity. It's just exactly what we should do for staff is here's a pot of money that you find the best possible place to spend it. I wouldn't, as Mr. The Vice Mayor suggested, add that to the contract with Ferguson. I think that's
I'm not saying that.
well, but it sounded like it, so I just want to make clarity that we want to give staff the ability to find the best and the highest possibility use of it.
Right.
And then it only gets spent because they find someone that's useful. And the grant opportunities are thrown all over the place. I know as the mayor, I get sent a lot of stuff, and I just filter it down to staff to look at because they know the highest possibility of it. And every niche has a little different thing. And it actually, Ferguson was able to talk to the author of the Army Corps of Engineers levy program and include local levies, not just federal levies. So that was a big deal that makes us available. So those are the little things that you talk about the Ferguson Group. They're in the mixture to talk about what's going on, and that was a very valuable thing to have. So I think this is a good idea. I support this whole agenda item. Councilman Weber's in the queue.
So, I think it's important to note that, like, what kind of piggybacking off of what Mr. Belzer was talking about is the grant market is incredibly competitive. Like, it doesn't wait for anybody, right?
No, it doesn't.
And I heard it be said once, and I don't know who said it, but you miss every shot you don't take, right? So, there are professionals, right? With all due respect to Amy and her amazing abilities and even Caleb, the question I have for you guys is, would you have the time or the capacity, the bandwidth, whatever you want to call it, to even tackle some of these huge grants? Because just to write the grant is just an amazing amount of information that you have to pump into this document because you want every single T crossed, you want every I dotted, you need every bit of, it's huge. It's a huge undertaking. So some of the low-hanging fruit ones, I get it, and I'm not trying to imply that you can't, because I believe you both totally can, far greater than I ever could, okay? But, there's a benefit to having a professional on, basically on retainer almost. If it was the Ferguson Group or whoever, that we could strike while the iron's hot, if you will. Because I know Belzer, your team relies heavily, you could benefit immensely from more grant dollars, And so, I know Chief Wines could benefit. Every one of these departments could benefit from grant dollars. We could benefit from grant dollars. So I think this is is that a fair assessment, though?
And I think for me, if all I did was write grants, then yes, I have the capacity. But because I'm in-house, I'm administering them, and that's where the work comes in, is once you get the grant, then you have 3 years or however long
Right,
to administer,
right.
and that's where the heavy lifting comes. So I don't have the capacity to go after big money. I could help with low-hanging fruit, and I can help do the design or do activity. But as far as something that's not outside of my, or that's outside of my expertise, then I would think that it would be better to somebody else than myself.
If I could, please, were you done? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. And might I add that, if these dollars were to be, slid over to staff, I think that it would be very wise of this council. I don't think we need to try to micromanage how, I think you guys know your needs really good, and so that if you don't, how should I say this? I think you should probably keep us apprised as to what you're going after. However, I don't think you need to bring it to us and say, what do you think? If the dollars are available and you could strike and get after it.
Okay, Councilman Goodson?
Yes, I put myself in the queue because I was hoping that I could make a motion.
Thank you.
I think it's a circular conversation
I would
now.
entertain the motion.
Yeah, I move that we approved $50,000 for grant writing activity.
Do we have any cards, public cards on this item before we jump?
We do not, that's right.
All right, call the roll.
Motion passes with 5 yeses, 1 no, and 1 absent.
All right, thank you all. Next item is, Vice Mayor Smith, you're in the queue. What
I
item?
was just going to clarify, but I think we're good. We've beat it up.
We're done.
Yeah.
Item number 12, employment contract with Amy Bergstrom for position of Director, Business Assistance and Housing Development.
So moved.
Hang on. I just have to say the terms. It's the law. So this would be a term, contract with Amy for 3 years from March, March 16th. Thank you. March 16th, 2026 to March 15th, 2029 with the annual salary of $175,100, step H. Those are the terms. Now you can do it.
So moved.
Call the roll.
Second.
Motion passes, 6 yeses, 1 absent.
Thank you.
All right.
Good job.
I guess, let me see here. We finished the public hearing. We have a public communication here. Any non-agenda item cards?
None submitted.
All right. Future agenda items from council?
Right here.
Go ahead.
I would
Sorry.
like to explore a future agenda item for the first meeting in April to re-explore using $200,000 from our contingency funds for
Okay.
roads, please.
All right, so moved. Councilman Reynolds, you're in the queue. I missed you, sorry.
Thank you. I would like to bring forward the transparency standards at a future agendized meeting. It doesn't have to be the next meeting, but I would say somewhere in the next 2 or 3 meetings, but I would move to bring that forward.
Okay, so we have Mr. Reynolds, Mr. Weber, anybody else in the queue?
Oh, yes.
Go ahead, Ms.
So
Goodson.
I would just like to just have a robust discussion on a ban of smoking in our city parks. And so we are getting ready for a grand opening of Hewitt, and we're talking about all the city parks. But when you look at, and I've heard it described, this is a gym, this is a state-of-the-art park, we want to keep it that way. And so this is a venue for families, for young children. This is a venue where our elderly advocated for
Pickleball.
I go shopping, I don't play. Pickleball courts. And so I would really like to see our parks smoke-free and with signage up. So can we just put that on for a near future agenda? Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, bring that back.
No, so let me clarify, it's no smoking while they're playing pickleball, is that what you're saying? No? Yeah.
Or skateboarding.
Yeah.
Okay, any other items? Vice Mayor Smith is in the queue.
Yeah, I'd like to get a report on disposition of Bedrock Park. So it would be good to hear kind of where we are. I know that park's been closed now for, what, 2 years? Essentially.
It's going on 2 years.
So
Okay.
that would be good to hear.
All right, anybody else? I'm going to throw myself in the queue. I'm real interested in a move-in date for the Cal Oak Yard,
Oh,
okay? And I know we've struggled with some things, but I would like to hear reasonable date to move in. If it's May 1st, that's fine. If it's April 1st, that's better. But I think it's time for us to move in, and I know we've had a discussion and we came back, so I'm not asking for it tonight, but let's plan a move-in date for Cal Oak Yard. And I'm calling it Cal Oak Yard. I was asking for somebody to name it. I don't know what else to name it.
take a poll.
If staff wants to name it, I'm okay with that too. Okay? Okay. All right, that's future agenda items. Correspondences included here. There's a report on the fire department monthly statistics, a monthly report on the business assistance housing development. As I mentioned, the report from League of Cities, and I included all the PowerPoints if you're willing to and want to see them all. They're all inside the agenda item electronically. And notice from PG&E on a rate decrease request. That's what it says, decrease request. And then a correspondence from Rhonda Magnuson. With that being said, and no other cards left, it is now, what? 6:30. Almost 6:40, 6:38. Oh, Councilman Goodson's in.
Yes, our next agenda meeting is March.
March 3rd,
March
2026 at 4.
I just wanted to know from the two gentlemen in the back what the color, what the color's gonna be for the next city
Mr. Mayor,
council.
Mr. Mayor. Yeah, share with us all the dress for the meeting for the next, all right. With that being said, this meeting will be adjourned, and the next regular meeting will be held, of the Orville City Council will be held March 3rd, 2026 at 4 p.m. in this city council chamber. We are adjourned.
Remember, pictures that day, March 3rd.
Oh, we
Pictures
do
that
have
day.
pictures.
I'll send out reminders
That day.
if you want a new picture.
Yep.